Hello, my wonderful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are this moment. I welcome you all to this early morning broadcast. Today happens to be Friday, the first Friday in the month of February. May the God Almighty bless us all and provide all our needs as we proceed with this news of this morning. In case you never subscribe to my channel, please endeavor to do that as soon as possible. And you are still wondering who is here. My name never changed. I still remain Okute Daily Talk. I may just land here like Land Rover. I don't carry my car, I just come to let our people know what is happening. And the Indian men and Mpara, Obodondi Ozo, in Africa and the world at large. And I still want to use this opportunity to appeal to my Muslim brothers and sisters and also my Christian brothers and sisters, pagan, whatever you believe that is working for you. This is the election time and the election period. Whether you are Biafra, you are Ududua, or you are Arewa, we have to join hands together to make this country a better one for that. Why am I saying this? Simply because the rumor on the internet that keep saying the Biafrans are trying to boycott the elections or one thing, that they are trying to have a seat at home between those times or those period of the election is not true. And I must say must make it categorically clear to every ear that cares to listen that the IPOB have cancelled sit at home over the presidential and national assembly elections. This information is coming from Emma Powerful, the IPOB IPOB media and the publicity. So anyone out there telling you that there will be a sit at home during the election period, that person don't want the best for the IPOB, and also they don't want the best for Nigeria at large. It's not a do or die affair. Of course, as people always say that the election is do or die, it can never be do or die affair. The election of 2023 is by your choice. If the situation of the country is good or is okay for you, regarding the killings, the economy, and all that, I mean, every sector of the country have collapsed. If that country is okay for you, then no problem. You don't have anything to worry about. You don't need to get your PVC. You don't need to vote. But if you are among those who are suffering, who have been in a hot soup for this past 7 years, going to 8 years that this administration took over, then you have a duty in your hand. You must go out there, get your PVC, and vote. Whether you are Biafra, you are Ududua, or whatever you are. Voting does not make your agitation illegal. I know by saying this, our people, mostly the Igbos, we heard truth. We heard the truth. Truth is always bitter in our ears. But we don't have to relent or worry about what people will say or what they will comment, because I know they must surely attack me on my comment section, and that is the reason why I am doing this voice before I continue with this very news of this very morning. You will attack me, but know it. You should know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. That's according to what the Bible told us. So, my dear people, election is around the corner. Biafra or no Biafra, Arewa, Ududua or no whatever, even the Akon people who are also agitating, all of them are ready to vote, simply because they want to vote in the right candidate that have their interests at heart. They want to vote in the right candidate that will have the interests of the masses at heart, not people who will come and sideline the fortune of the country, the commonwealth of the country. They will keep stealing it, who have already steal more, many, and I still want to steal more. So my advice to you all out there, those who care to listen to my advice, go and get your PVC and get it ready for 25th of February this month, 2023. This election, we have to vote. We have to exercise our right and choose whom you want to lead this country. Before you can talk about Biafra, at least you must vote in somebody who has the interests of the people at heart, who will sit down and listen to the cry and the plea of people around you. That is the importance of voting. So, Biafrans, I'm encouraging you all, go out there and vote, because whether you vote or you did not vote, Nigeria must choose a president. And not voting does not stop us from our agitating. We must continue with our agitating until the either the federal government of Nigeria listen to us, or the Fulani government of Nigeria, or the cabals, or the international community who have closed their ears to the cry of the poor masses in Biafra land. But whichever way it is, we must surely do the needful and do what? And leave the rest for the God or the gods to fight the battle for us. So let us take the headlines, please. I have talking too much. It's not like I enjoy stressing my intro, but sometimes we need to say all this to let people out there know what we need to do, because to be forewarned is to be forearmed, according to the people that spoke English. Me, I'm not too good with English. So my dear people, I don't land again like a Land Rover. Na me, Okute Daily Talk. I don't come with this Obonga news of this morning. Let's take the headlines as we ought to be. You know my culture already, or tradition. IPOB cancel sit at home over presidential election and National Assembly elections this February of 2023. U.S. lawmakers, they don't ask Oga Joe Biden to redesignate Nigeria as a dangerous country for Christians. Well, I know they finish you. This one, I don't know what it means, but we will surely find out. Where will they complain? They say people where they vote in most of the northern part of the country, they are not Nigerians. The so-called Fulani outside, or whatever their name might be, they will find one way or the other to come to our comment section to abuse us and say that we are morons or we are this and that. But that is the simple truth. If you go to Kaduna today, go to Kano today, I mean, most of all these countries that have a common boundary with Niger, Cameroon, and other our neighboring African countries, you find out that a majority of the people that occupy those states are not Nigerians, they are foreigners. But simply because Nigeria has become a lawless country whereby anyone can come in and do whatever he or she likes. So they come into the country even without ID cards. They will go to our INEC offices where they are resident PVCs and register. And people there, they will know exactly that these people are not Nigerians, and they will still register them simply because they are looking for population to outsmart other states. That is why when you ask them, they will tell you Kaduna have the highest. Who told you Kaduna have the highest population, or Kano have the highest population? If you calculate the eligible voters in Kaduna and Kano, they can never outsmart other states. But Kaduna and Kano state have been in the history of a state whereby even underage are being given PVCs to go and vote simply because they want us smart. And you check it, 50% of those people voting are not Nigerians. Then tell me, how are we going to redesign this country? Look at it. Look at the headline here. 516 illegal immigrants arrested with PVCs. NIMC in Kaduna State. Yeah. Look at it now. They are preparing for the voting. This COP, they're supposed to have done it long ago. Nigerians are about some million ebidizo. No million matters showing up now. We boys some million. That is simple the fact here. What Sultan of Sokoto said during P2B's visit to Palace days after denying endorsement. Okay. We have bought weapons with new notes. According to terrorist leader, say they don't even the new weapon. I mean the new Naira note. You don't read them. Whereby the aim of the designing the Naira is to curb all these shenanigans that is happening in the country. Anyway, no people carry and go give them. No be our bankers. They say the Naira to them. My brother, let us come out. Every sector of the Nigeria have collapsed. We keep on calling the president. The presidency have done marvelously well, to my own understanding. But people who he put in the cabinet is the one that rubbishes his time and rubbish all his reputation. The banks where you are going there, most of our people are stranded in the banks. But this Naira notes, you can find it in bundles where people have been spraying it at the events and parties. Where did they get the Nairas? Did the Naira did they manufacture their own Naira? Are they not from banks? Nigerian system of where they do it, anywhere you go, I am. Once you know somebody, You have nothing to worry about. All these politicians, they say, hey, you design the naira so that it will come vote buying. Most of them have stocked this new naira notes in their warehouses. That is why they are scarce. CBN have already made it open that money have been distributed. Over 4 billion naira have been distributed to different banks. But it is not up to 1 billion naira in circulation. Where are the rest 3 billion naira? It have been stocked. That is how they keep storing naira. You find out that this money being printed today, in 10 to 15 years to come, you will find the mint in people's houses that never even enter from one hand to another hand or to third party. That is Nigeria for you. Both for P2B's ambition as Southern Middle Belt leaders back Labour Party presidential candidate. Wait for it to be counted. Apostle Suleiman send messages to Nigerians ahead of general elections. Udomo is a small boy, according to Oga Agbado Ministry. Tinubu given 7 days ultimatum to apologize or face legal action, according to the group that come to defend Governor Emmanuel Udom of Akwa Ibom, Uyo. So let us start our news now. The indigenous people of Biafra, where we they call IPOB, that are member. On Thursday, don't disclose there will be no sit at home during the presidential and national assembly elections. IPOB don't want Pan-Nigeria president of Igbo Extraction Coalition, that is PANPIEC, against linking that group with the enforcement of sit at home orders to blackmail ESN and IPOB. It is never so. So the IPOB have come out categorically to state that there is nothing like sit at home for those people now who will try to indict IPOB in one way or the other, saying Simon Ekpa say A, Simon Ekpa say B. No sit at home during the election of the presidential election and other parastatals. You get it? So, please get this point clear. The group, in a statement released through its spokesperson, Emma Powerful, said IPOB has no intention to enforce sit at home during the elections. The statement reads, IPOB led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never forcibly obstructed the election process in Nigeria. Rather, we once called Biafrans to boycott elections, which was later called off. We have maintained that we don't have any interest in the Nigerian shambolic political selection process called Nigerian elections scheduled for February of 2023. Our interest and focus is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the date for the Biafran referendum for Biafrans to determine their political future in or outside the country. We knew that this mushroom group called PANPIEC is among those sponsoring this fake group, claiming that they are IPOB, issuing and enforcing reckless sit at home in the southeast. If they are not their sponsors, why do they keep linking the paid agents of confusion with us, even as IPOB has publicly denounced any link with Simon Ekpa and his collaborators? It is on record and in our public domain that IPOB has not called for any sit at home during the February elections. It is also obvious that IPOB and ESN do not have any faction or splinter groups. IPOB remains peaceful and indivisible under one command for the liberation of the Biafran nation from the republic called Nigeria. We retreated for the record that IPOB did not, and will not issue any sit-at-home order in February during the election period. We also did not call for any boycott of the upcoming election yet. The focus of IPOB is the release from illegal detention of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom appeal court and other courts have discharged and acquitted since the 13th day of October in the year 2022, and Biafra referendum date, which we are waiting for them to announce it sooner or later. We don't carry our kaya now. US we dey go. When we go meet our Oga Joe Biden. US lawmakers they don't ask Oga Jojo say make he designate Nigeria as a dangerous country for Christians to live. That means the Christians have no place in Nigeria. Is that what they're trying to tell us? Let's see what happens, my dear people. Please do not touch the dial because we have a lot of news on our hand here. The United States Congress has called on a President of America, which is Joe Biden, to redesignate Nigeria as a country of popular concern for violations of religious freedom. Yes, so because Christians have suffered most in these 8 years of this very administration. Mass burial in Kaduna, mass burial in Owo. All is called by Fulani herdsmen, Fulani jihadis. Nigerian News report that Nigeria, who according to the Pew Research Center has the largest Christian population in Africa, was first designated as a CPC in December of 2020 by the U.S. Department of State due to frequent religious conflicts and attacks by Boko Haram sect. But the Biden administration has taken Nigeria off the list in November of 2021. You see it? In a statement on Tuesday, U.S. lawmakers brought up a resolution urging the State Department to put Nigeria back in the annual CPC list. I don't know whether Joe Biden is working with Nigerians or is against Nigerians. I don't really understand. The New Jersey representative, Chris Smith, stated that Christians bear the brunt of the persecution in Nigeria. According to Smith, the decision to exclude Nigeria from the list was an unjustified decision, adding that the inclusion was a necessary fight to protect victims of religious persecutions in Nigeria. He said last year alone, 5,014 Christians were killed in Nigeria, accounting for nearly 90% of Christians' deaths worldwide, as well as 90% of Christian kidnappings across the globe. The Biden administration must act immediately and redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern to mitigate this alarming and growing threat to religious liberty. On his part, Arkansas Representative French Hill said the removal of Nigeria from the list was a political move by Joe Biden. It's a political. After all, Joe Biden was congratulating Buhari on peace, even when there is no peace, even when the whole country is in a total disarray, even when the whole country is in a total unrest. He was congratulating Buhari. The other day, the people from either peace something from United Arab Emirates called Buhari to one of the African nations and gave him peace award. When Nigeria have any single peace, no atom of peace in Nigeria. Look at what is happening: fuel scarcity, lack of the new naira scarcity, and a lot of numerous things. No insecurity. Everything everywhere is in a total disaster, and they are calling our own president, giving him award. Can't you see these people are supporting, not even directly supporting what is happening in Nigeria, and our leaders don't care to know. And this country is going to collapse in their head, and posterity we must surely judge them. This resolution sends an important message to the Biden administration and the government of Nigeria that the U.S. Congress sees what is happening there and will continue to speak out against the ongoing violence and the government's inadequate response. Nigerian News report that the Christian community has witnessed a lot of targeted attacks by the bandits terrorists. At least 39 Catholic priests were killed by gunmen and 30 others were abducted in the year of 2022, the Cable reported. Alright, now when we talk now, they say we talk too much. They can even report our YouTube channel. Say we talk too much, but that is the simple fact. 516 illegal immigrants arrested with PVCs. MNK in Kaduna. Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) has arrested 560 illegal immigrants in Kaduna State. This publication learned that immigrants were caught having permanent voters card and national identity cards. If you see for Nigeria, people who are not Nigerians. Imagine what Nigerians are passing through in other countries, even where they are traveling with their own money. But all these people, they just cross through the border safely. Nobody asks them anything. But look at Nigerians. They will spend their money, they spend their time, they will spend even their resource traveling to other countries. They will not be well treated. They won't even if they spend money, they won't even have the ID or whatever of that very country. But look at these people at ease. They have our voters card and they have our national identity card, which is our national treasure. Most of Nigerians say don't even have that card, that national identity card. Most of Nigerians don't have it. According to Arise News, the state controller, Liman Sani Killer, while parading the illegal immigrants at the command headquarters on Thursday, said they were from Niger Republic, Chad, Cameroon, Togo, and Senegal. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. And people are the ones that issue them those cards. Liman further stated that those arrested were undergoing profiling and will be deported. There are millions of them in Nigeria. You just got only 516. What happens to others? He explained that in the last year's mop-up operations, the command retrieved 1,000 PVCs from illegal immigrants arrested within Kaduna zone. Police arraigned man in court for marrying another wife. Meanwhile, a man identified as Edmond Uzoma has been arraigned before the Lagos Magistrate Court in Yaba for allegedly marrying a second wife. The accused was arraigned on three counts of bigamy and falsification of information over a marriage certificate on Wednesday. The prosecutor, Idowu Osumbure, informed the court that the defendant contracted another wedding with one Sophia Yongxian at a wedding registry and made a false declaration that he was single while still married to another woman. Osumbure alleged that the defendant committed a crime in 2019. The offenses were punishable under Section 411 and 115 of the Lagos State Criminal Laws and Section 370 of the Criminal Code Act Cap. C. 38 Laws of the Federation of 2014. What a Sultan of Sokoto said during P2B's visit to Palace days after denying endorsement. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Abubakar, on Wednesday retweeted that he remains political ahead of the forthcoming election. Recall that the Sultan in January distanced himself from a message circulating on social media that he had endorsed P2B for president. Nigeria News report that P2B, his running mate, Dachi Ahmed, and other party chieftains paid a courtesy visit to the Sultan as they continue to tour the northern state for their campaign. Speaking during the meeting, the Sultan said he cancelled his Dutch travel condolence trip to receive P2B as he went down memory lane about their relationship. The Reverend spiritual leader of the Muslims in the Nigerian recalled meeting the former governor of Anambra State when he was a young military officer serving in Nsukka, and Obi was a student at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. UNN. The Sultan also described P2B as his brother as he expressed sadness over the current happening in the country. He added that power belongs to God and only he knows who will become the next president of Nigeria. He said, I want to personally welcome you to this courtesy visit and welcome you to Sokoto for your campaigns, and I assure you that we are political. We don't have any political party that we are leaning to. We always say power belongs to the Almighty Allah. He gives it to whom he wants, and we take from you at the time he wants without even warnings. So we don't play God, according to Sultan. We believe that the Almighty Allah already knows who will become Nigeria's next president come May 29 of 2023. I disagree with you, Emir. The Kabas have already known whom they want, because Nigerian vote and they select. That is the problem we are having in the country. Before this, they will first of all insert people who will judge on their behalf, who will not judge on the interest of the masses, but on their behalf. The likes of when Buhari ejected, what did they call him? This Attorney General from Middle Belt, from South, and put his own people. So that when you go to court, that same people will also rule against you and rule in their favor. Like P2B said, we have known each other for a very long time. Did he tell you he was a small boy at that time? And like he rightly said, yes, He used to come to my house in Nsukka when I was a young officer. We believe that we must be brothers. We must be brothers, and when you are being brotherly with one another, there must be trust. There must be respect. A lot of things have been happening in the country, and so many of us are so sad. December 2016 or 2019, the Enugu State Governor invited me to come home because like Peter said, I started my life in Nsukka. The then Anambra State Governor, Governor Ugwuanyi, said I must come back home to reenact those days when we were one big family with different tribes and religions, but we are one big family. That is Nigeria for you. In those days, you don't know who is Hausa, who is Yoruba. You can eat in one pot, in one plate. But these people, Westerners, come and bring division among the nation. And that is what we are suffering till death. So that is what we are always been preaching. And even now, we are still preaching to people that this is one big family. We might have different ideas, different agendas, and different ways and means of life. But we are one big family, and there is nothing we can do about it because God doesn't make mistake. He put us together, and he knows how to take care of his servants because we are all servants of the Almighty. So we are very free with everybody, and that is why we squeeze this time to see you, because right now we are supposed to be on our way to Duse, where we lost a traditional leader of high repute and a very close family member too. But just stay, let's still have some time. We will just dash down there very soon according to Sultan. And we thank you for the respect accorded to that your small boy those days in Nsukka, Enugu State, where you started your life. That is why I said Nigeria is really a one big family, where the amalgamation might be a mistake, but in one hand or the other hand, we are one big family. Because I grew up when you see an Hausa in our own side. I mean the Igbo land. I mean, we take everybody as the same. They will come, even beg you food. You don't need to carry food and give to them. You cook, you put it on a very big tray pan. We call it tray pan. You understand me? And everybody, both the indigenous and non-indigenous, everybody will eat from that same pan. Drink from one cup. And everybody will depart to his ways. That is when I grew up in Nigeria. But now, the reverse is the case. Everything have turned upside down. May God allow us to see that previous Nigeria as it was before. That's supposed to be our prayers. Then this news again, we have bought weapons with new notes according to terrorist leader. Hey, and people are looking for the new note they cannot find. A notorious terrorist leader, Kachala Balari, has condemned the Central Bank of Nigeria over the scarcity of the new Naira notes. According to Balari, the policies of the Apex Bank are working against the poor, whom he said are living from the hand to mouth. Despite the scarcity of the new Naira notes, Balari claimed that he has purchased weapons with the new notes. And inside this country, so that means they buy their weapon from inside this country, because you cannot spend those currency outsiders. Abi? Okay, Abi, you don't convert them to dollars and use it to buy weapons. And those money, you give it to our bookies, right? They brew the change. The problem keep on escalating. According to Daily Trust, the terrorist leader in a video flaunted the newly redesigned Naira notes. This video is coming weeks after the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele claimed that the policy was targeted at minimizing terrorism and kidnapping in Nigeria. Balari further stated that some poor Nigerians have not laid their hands on the new notes, but people inside the forest have already using it to buy their weapons. Hey, what an irony of Nigeria. How do we get to this point? He said tribalism will not solve Nigeria's problem. Only justice will solve the problems. The poor don't know what Naira design means. Some of them don't have 10,000 Naira. They live from hand to mouth. But for those who have millions, it is their own cup of tea. Many of these poor have not laid their hands on the new notes. But those considered terrorists have them in box. We have bought weapons with new notes so that we can fight them. Now we are waiting to hear what they will say next. We are doing what we are doing for the sake of God and the poor. We are living together, not the government. We have no problem with whosoever wishes to relate well with us, according to the terrorist commander-in-chief. Hey, we have terrorist commander-in-chief in Nigeria, where we have a chief of the armed forces here. Both for Peter Obi's ambition as Southern Middle Belt leaders back Labour Party candidate. Leaders from the four of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country under the urges of Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, led by South-South leader Chief Edwin Clark, have endorsed the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Nigeria News report that the leaders and elder statements have resolved to back Obi and his running mate, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, as their candidate for February 25th presidential elections. The SMBLF endorsed the Labour Party candidate at the end of an extraordinary meeting of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum on Wednesday in Abuja. The communique was read by the immediate past President General of the umbrella body of the Igbo worldwide, the Ohaneze, Chief John Nneyanwodo. The leaders of the SMBLF is made up of the Middle Belt, Igbo, Ohaneze, Afanifere, Pan-Nigeria, Pan Niger Delta Forum. You hear them? Then on the other hand, Edwin Clark, he don't come and say, God will not answer your prayers. Yeah, he tells, what did they call him? Okowa. He calls him a betrayer. He said Okowa is a betrayer. He betrayed the South quest to produce the president. Meanwhile, the vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Ifeanyi Okowa, has come under fire from prominent Ijaw leader, Chief Edwin Clark. Nigeria News report that Clark has come out to tag Okowa a betrayer, saying God will not answer his prayers as far as elections are concerned. Clark was reported to have asked Okowa to apologize to the people, his colleagues, and Southern Nigerians for betraying them, for accepting to be the vice president of Atiku. He slammed Okowa for accepting to be running mate to PDP presidential candidate Abubakar Atiku, and therefore asked him to step down from that post. Clark said, I can therefore understand why you have deliberately and immorally betrayed your colleagues of Southern Nigeria and the people for your own selfish ambition by wanting to land on safer ground by accepting to serve as running mate to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. No, by the grace of God, your prayers will not be answered. Perhaps you have forgotten the gravity of the offense you committed against the people of the Southern extraction, according to Edwin Clark. 2023, wait for it to be counted. This one is coming from our pastor, the controversial man of God, according to the way they used to call him. When they say he's controversial, I don't know what made him controversial. So do not say Nami speak. That is what they call him. Wait for it to be counted. Apostle Johnson Suleiman sent message to Nigerians ahead of the elections. The General Overseer of the Omega Fire Ministry, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, has warned Nigerians that the forthcoming general elections will be a deciding factor in the fate of the country. The clergyman lamented over the situation of the nation, maintaining that it has never been as bad as it has been in the past few weeks. Speaking via his verified Twitter handle on Thursday, Suleiman called on Nigerians to go to the polling unit on the day of the election to cast votes, ensure their votes are counted. However, this coming election will be a deciding factor for generations unborn. We have never had it so terrible, especially these past few weeks. Go to your polling unit and vote. Wait for it to be counted. According to our able pastor, Johnson Suleiman, he said, when you vote, make sure you defend your vote. And that is what I keep telling my pals, keep telling my fans out there, I keep telling those ones who still believe in Nigeria, who still believe that this country will work again, because that has been our hope for a very long time now. We keep hoping that things will better, things Ghana better, and things keep going worse. Imagine as of 2015, the exchange rate was that of 198 to 200 naira per dollar. And the reason why we chose this coming APC, the likes of President Muhammadu Buhari, he told us that he must surely make sure that he remove fuel subsidy. In other words, that we will be refining our own fuel, not to import fuel from another man's country. And also campaign to us that he will make the 1 naira to be equivalent to $1. And we all hoped and we accepted his promises. We voted for him, only for him to go there and turn his back against us. Now, dollar is being changed at the parallel market between 7 something to 800 naira per dollar. Look at the gasoline now. He said he will remove fuel subsidy. Look at how much gasoline a liter of fuel is being sold. A lot of people are protesting. 700 naira per liter of fuel. A country that have more than how many trillion barrels of crude oil and natural gas at the backyard. I know just a very simple, very easy for them. Look at the one that have been discovered in between Gombe and Bauchi. Gombe and Bauchi, Gombe and Yobe. Look at how many barrels of crude oil they discovered there. 1 billion barrels of crude oil, and almost 500 billion barrels of natural gas. This one that the Russian president is using to make shakara for the, what do they call it, for the Europeans. Nigeria have it at the backyard. Go to Egbema. Go to what do they call it? This Ato Zeribe, this Uguta. We have natural gas. I mean, rare natural gas. But what do we have? What do we have in return? Fuel scarcity. What do we have in return? Is a subsidy. Paying trillions of naira for subsidy. Money that is enough for them to use to revitalize all our refineries, oil refineries, for them to be working effectively. Rather, they choose to politicize everything, and everything now is corruption. Corruption has taken over, and that is how we are going to progress as a country. I doubt that we cannot achieve anything with this, with the hand and with the rate that the exchange, the inflation, the economy is dying. Now, my dear, if we make mistake in this February election, it will be over for Nigeria. Almost 50% of the youths are no more living in Nigeria. All of them are japa out of the country, living in another man's land, become a slaves in another man's land, whereby at their backyard, when I mean backyard, I mean at their own country, they are richer than the country even they run to for safety.